Okay. Let's start with something called as local references. What we are going to learn? Local references. In a same component, I'm going to do, in a same component, what I would be creating under the components, sorry, we have written what? Data binding. So we are clear or the complete with data binding thing. Custom inputs, custom output we have seen. Then we have seen what is actually data binding. Then we have seen two-way binding. Little bit more advanced or mixture of one way and the property and the event binding. Right. Okay. Now here you can go. And there is one input box I have. There is one input box I have. Sorry. There is one input box I have, and I can say input type text. Input type text, and value is this. Placeholder you can write. Say hi. Okay. And there is one button, input type button, value is okay. And class you can say btn info. And on the click of this, I am going to call the function, say hi. I'm going to call this function, say hi. Now we will see the different ways of accessing this input box, right? Accessing this input box in the TypeScript. The one way we have seen is nothing but two-way binding. If you go to the progress bar, progressbar.html, can you see? To this input box, you have bound one WD variable. Getting that? This is a two-way binding. This is what? Two-way binding. You can say this is as two-way binding. But this is not a feature of Angular. Angular 1's feature is a two-way binding, but Angular 2 doesn't give you that feature. But you can create it by combining this syntax. Right? By combining this syntax, you can create it. Now, local references are those who can be accessed. If you can go here, hash IP high, input box high, input high. Hash is nothing but what the ID is. ID is equals to, you can say IP high. You have written like that. But Angular says that instead of doing ID, just proceed with it, what? Hash. I'm going to consider this thing as local references. So this can be used throughout in your template. Throughout in your template, you can use IP high. Now I can pass it to the function also, IP high, right? Let me pass that IP high over here, and let me come over here, and here I can say hi, and here one IP. Presently I'll give a type of any. This is of type any, and let's have console.log, and you can say IP. Let us see what exactly coming from there. Getting that? We have called say hi function. Here there is say hi, and IP high I have passed it as a parameter to the say hi function, and here this is IP, and let us see what exactly it is printing. IP. Okay, let's go here, and I have consoled it. So here localhost 4200. Let me open the inspector. Right? Can you see it is giving me complete input box? If I click over here, what it is giving me? Complete input box where you have attached it. Means if I get input box over here, I can apply some DOM related things also. IP dot style dot border is equals to 1px solid and red. Right? If I get input box, straight away I can work on the HTML. Getting that? This is also possible. So let me try to do that. Can you see this is becoming red? So one way of DOM manipulation is the local references. Remember that. Using jQuery, but whatever your manager is saying, that is something different, and whatever is I am saying, that is different. Right, got it. Clearly got it. So here you are using IP high over here. You're using what? IP high. That IP high is pointing, the variable IP high, you can say, is pointing to the input box. And that's why if you pass IP high, you'll get complete input box. Well, you can say dot value also, means whatever you have typed inside that, that would be getting printed. See, console. Can you see? The console is getting printed in that way. Right. But passing native HTML elements is little bit weird thing. Passing native HTML elements in this way is not a good thing. But you can use this local reference throughout the template, anywhere. This is called as what? Local references. You can use it anywhere. That's not a big deal. And you can pass it like this as well. But this is not a good way. Remember that we have discussed about the view. What is view? What is view? Object, yeah. So from the HTML, right, from the HTML, Angular is going to create one JavaScript object. And that JavaScript object can be used anywhere. And that JavaScript object is called as what? View. Right. If you have local reference in a view, what I'm saying, if you have, or if you are referring to the view in the if you are referring to the view in the, if you are referring to the element inside the view, and you want to access that particular element inside the TypeScript, right? The intention of local reference is to give access to other elements inside the template. But there are some cases where I need this input box, in the TypeScript. The best recommended way is to provide two-way binding that we have done in the progress bar. So you don't need to worry about view and other things. But still, other than that, if you want to find some way, and that way would be something called as ViewChild. I can say IP, whatever it is, JJJ. I'm deliberately writing such names JJJJJ. So you that you should don't get confused, right? So people ask me the question, is it a built-in member or you're writing it? And that's why deliberately I'm writing weird names, right? So that you can understand. Is of type element ref. Right, and at ViewChild, and name of that ViewChild, IP high. Well, this is the Angular 8. The error is because of Angular 8. This is a improvement in the Angular 8. Right, you need to pass one JavaScript object as a second parameter who can say static false. You'll get to know what is this later on. But right now, remember about the static false. This is from the Angular 8 only. If you are working in Angular 7, the second parameter you will not find. But if you are using Angular 8, you need to provide. So here I can write that Angular 8 improvement, static false. What is that? You'll get to know later on. Just hold on. But my present concern is accessing the element inside TypeScript. First way is of a data binding, which is a fantastic way. Creating a variable and just binding. You are just focusing on the data. But here you want to focus on the HTML element as well. Now see, and what I'll do, instead of passing it like this, I'll comment this out. I'll comment this out so that later on you can understand it. Right, say hi. And here as well, I'll not pass anything. Right? And I have already passed what you can say, or created one variable and attached one decorator called as ViewChild. And here I'll do same thing, IP jjj dot, can you see now, native element. Now here you can have console dot log. Let's try to print the native element. And what's that native element is? Again same thing. Can you see it is pointing to what? Same thing. But this is more recommended way than earlier one. Getting that? This is a more recommended way than earlier one. Then this is a local reference only. This is a local reference only. But passing local reference to the component, first you have passed in the function, and then you have used what? ViewChild. This is a more recommended way. Still, this is not a best way. Best way is two-way binding. Right? You don't need to do all these efforts. Just declare a variable, create a syntax, and pass the WD. That's it. Right? But if you want to do little kind of DOM manipulation like this dot ipjjj dot native element dot style again dot border is equals to 2px solid and the red. See now, border, same thing, you can access it. Right? Another approach of accessing the DOM is a directive. We'll see that later on. At the time of directives, you'll get to know how to work with this exactly. Right? Fine. So remember that if you have created a local reference in a template, and if you want to use it in a TypeScript, you are going to use what? ViewChild. Or more generic, if your local reference is available inside a view, and you want to access it inside component TypeScript, you are going to use what? ViewChild. Okay, let me keep one more scenario in front of you. Now see, there is an app btn here, and let me write the paragraph. And here you can say class alert info, and here you can say lorem and epsum. Okay. So this alert we have added inside. Remember that what I did. Right? Now see, you will not find that alert anywhere over here. Where is the alert? The concern is, where is the alert? Where is the alert? Inside? But where is that? That need to be displayed somewhere, right? Inner HTML. DOM says that there is a text node, and what? Inner HTML. This is the concept of inner HTML. Do you remember document.getElement by ID? Dot inner HTML and dot text node.
That changes the value of the content.
Yes, that changes the value of the content. Where is that inner HTML? So if you want to work with the inner HTML or the content in Angular, remember that you are inside which component? AppOps BTN. Right? AppOps BTN. Go to the AppOps BTN and write something called as ng content. This is the inner HTML. If you want to work with the inner HTML, you need to write this ng content. Now see.
We used to write dot inner HTML in that Angular. This is ng content.
ng content.
Okay, that equals to value. That value you want to change.
Yeah, the value you are injecting inside the component, and this is called as content projection. content, yeah. And this is a dynamic, right? So whatever your, if you have written this apps btn 2 times, I'll create a row one more time, right? Here I have passed the alert, but at the second time I will pass something different. Getting that? For this, content projection is used. Getting that? Reusability. You can change it. Presently you have passed alert. Later on you can pass table, complete table as well. It is content projection. Which one? ng content is built in. This one is built in. This is Angular's. Angular has given you. If you want to show the content or inner HTML, go with the ng content. Any concerns? Well, now next thing. If you have a local reference inside content projected or projected content, HashPara, I can say. HashPara. So this para can be accessed over here as a ViewChild. Para. The variable name can be anything, right? Element ref. Here I can say at ViewChild. Remember that you are in an app component TS. Getting that? You are in an app component TS. View child, and here you can say para and static false. Getting that? And on the click, same click, console.log, this dot para dot native element. Okay, again you will get complete. If I do console.log, see, you'll get complete paragraph. Can you see this? Now see carefully, observe carefully. The local reference para is local to the app component HTML. But if I try to do same thing over here inside the TypeScript of that component, right? I'll do same thing, ViewChild element ref para here, right? ng content you have written inside this component. Getting that? And on the progress, console.log, what you can say, this dot para dot native element, this dot para dot native element, right? Means on these buttons. Now go here and see, it is giving you the undefined. That is not defined. View, it is not a view. View child means what? Something which is inside view. But the para is not a view. For whom? For ops btn component. It is something different. But for app component, para is nothing but what? View child. So whenever Angular will create one object from this HTML, in that object there is something called as HashPara. But whenever Angular will create element, whenever Angular will create one object of this view, there is no HashPara inside this. So that is inside the content being projected. So instead of ViewChild, what you can write? Content child, because that is available in the content. Getting that? Now let us see what's happening. See now, same para you will get here. right? Content child and view child. Now let me make it true. Okay, still I cannot reproduce that, but we can reproduce at the time of directives. We'll see at the time of directives. Right, what is a static true and static false? Getting that? Content child and view child. Remember these concepts. These are very important at the time of interview. If interviewer knows all these things. Otherwise, before going to interview, go to the Google and search JavaScript questions or Angular 8 questions for interview. First top 10 websites you can refer. You can go to the interview. You will crack it. Okay. So we have seen intercomponent communication and the view child. I would like to start with the directives. Let me push this much code, and here I can say view child or view child and view and content child. Okay, I have pushed the code. Please check it once in 5 minutes only, so I want you to go through the code so you'll not miss something. If you something is by looking at the code something is not clear to you, we can clear right now, just in 5 minutes.